Welcome. We're out here today on a Axopar Jobe Spyder 22, a Revolve 2022, which is a special edition of this Axopar 22 Spyder. And we're out here on a beautiful place, which is one of my personal favorites, called the Kodderspoeltje, a famous Aalsmeer small inner lake, I would say. And for a change, we'd like to take the boat out and drive through the really small, nice waterways between the islands of Aalsmeer. I've grown up here, beautiful area, and I'd want you to take part of these beautiful surroundings. But of course, we're making this video to show you this Axopar 22. And as I said, this is a Jobe Revolve 2022. This is basically the result of a great collaboration between Axopar and Jobe Watersports, which is, I would say, a fun company making all kinds of towables, water skis, wetsuits and all kinds of stuff you use to have fun on the water. So that is basically the aim that Axopar and Jobe had in mind, to maximize the fun on the water. And I think they did a really good job, because with this Axopar 22, not only the styling is, I personally think, great, but they also offer a package on the Jobe Axopar Revolve 2022, which consists of many things. Of course, you'll see the the full gel coat, which is a turquoise color, a really special color. And if you see it, well, personally, if I saw it the first time in a showroom, I thought, well, this is quite something. But if you see it on the water, I really like it. So I think they did a good job choosing this really special color. And as I said, it's full gel coat, it's not wrap, it's full gel coat, not only on the outside, but the full inner side also, and the deck. And the deck also is covered with something that is called EVA decking. And that is a material that Jobe uses on their stand-up paddle boards, which is very practical because it's non-skid, but it's also soft on your feet. Like today, we're walking on bare feet on the boat, and this is really nice. It just feels very comfortable, very practical, and of course they added this special styling with the coloring and the yellow stripes, which you see here, which are also carried through on the upholstery, where you see this light gray and again a turquoise kind of color with yellow detailing, such as you can see here. So this particular boat also, on this particular boat, you can also see this setup with this huge storage, so that you can carry all the stuff that comes with the full package on the 2022 Jobe Revolve version, which consists of a stand-up pedal board, a really nice towable, which, by the way, fits perfectly in the bow area of the Axopar 22 Spyder. A really nice thing that Axopar and Jobe came up with, really practical, I personally feel. But of course, lines, there's life vests, many other things which you can put in this multi-storage, what they call it, which comes with this Jobe Revolve 2022. With the regular Axopar 22, you also have an option to have a U-sofa. I have not seen that option yet, but my personal favorite, to be honest, would be this. But then again, I suspect many people choosing the U-sofa because that is a more social setup. I have to tell you also that this is a sold boat. Some of you may have noticed many and quite big speakers and a huge subwoofer in the bow area. This is a sold boat, and the owner wanted some special things added to it, which we've recently done. This boat will be delivered sometime this week. So there are some things which are non-Axopar options, but I'm sure they can be installed by many dealers, such as Kempers Watersport in the Netherlands. And usually I tend to start with the bow, which I'm not doing at this moment. I'm here at the steering console, driving through these small waterways. We'll be taking the boat out on the lake soon. But in the meantime, let me start with this steering console. I really still like this windscreen, which is adjustable like this. So if you want some more protection, I'm 1.92 m, so even with my length I can have added protection. We have a beautiful day today, so I'm lowering it again. But a really nice and practical solution. There's a grab rail here now. I think this is a first, at least for me it is, because I seem to remember that on the prototype we didn't have this. I really like this. It's a really nice thing to hang on to in rough conditions. And of course there's flip-up seats, which are really practical in a situation like now where you're slightly moving around, want to have a good overview of what's happening. This is really comfortable. Also when you're towing someone behind the boat, it gives you a good overview. And while towing, I would certainly recommend also turning the passenger seat, so that if you bring someone to keep an eye on whoever's behind the boat, this is really practical. You turn this and you put the flip-up seat up in the upward position, so that you can really have a good overview on what's happening behind the boat. A really ergonomically thought through dashboard and steering console. If I sit down like this, I really like this footrest. May seem not so important, but if you're out boating in rough conditions, you really need something to push yourself in the seats so that you're protected in a way. And Axopar has done that in a really good way. And also the steering wheel, it's all these minor details, it's all in a very natural position, I would say. So really practical, good layout with the optional 12-inch Simrad display here, which I really love. I have that on my own Axopar 28 also. Of course you can do all kinds of things, show maps, but I tend to have the engine data here on the screen just to be able to see what's happening in a first glance. So these are all personalized things made by us as a dealer. USB ports. This of course is done by Axopar. Also this USB port. I really like this also, to be able to carry all kinds of things. A nice storage area. There are switches here. I won't go over each of them, but there are switches for all the things that you need to switch on and off, of course. But I really like the detailing also with this Jobe 2022 Revolve. Not only do you have the Axopar logo engraved in the steering wheel, but also the Jobe logo and the yellow stitching here on the inside, which is a really nice detail, I personally think. Okay, so like I told you, these can be turned around. Let me quickly show you one. I have to slide it forward before I can do so. Where's the handle? Here. And this is really practical, because now if I slide it back, this is a really nice place. You'll notice that I haven't done this a lot before, but this is a great place to sit, read something while anchoring. You could put your feet up like this. This is a really nice setup. And if you have the U-shaped setup here, this makes it even nicer, because then you can sit with quite a few people, have a table in between, and you have a really great social area. Okay, let me put it back. You may have noticed the step here also, really practical to get on and off the boat. There's non-skid here, there's non-skid here. You could have an optional mid-cleat. I personally don't think this boat really needs the mid-cleat, but that is something personal. The good thing with this, not having the mid-cleat, is that you can use this as a good place to get on and off the boat. Again, these are special things done for the owner. You may be able to see the blue deck lights, which is an option. And I nearly forgot. This water ski bar, I would say, is something that is included in the Jobe 2022 package, the Revolve package. So here also the EVA decking is carried through on the relatively big bathing platforms. What I like also is that they're more or less angled away from the engine. The swimming leather is put underneath this area, so angled away a bit from the engine, so that you don't hurt yourself on a potentially sharp propeller. And of course this is really practical if you want to get in and out of the water. It's a long swimming leather like we're used to with Axopar, so it's good to get in and out of water. Some people may notice this is for a battery charger, which we also installed for the owner. A non-Axopar option, but we installed it because this is an owner who does a lot of anchoring, I think, where you need to be careful that you don't charge the batteries enough. So he just wanted to make sure that they're always full when he takes his boat out. So we installed a battery charger in this particular boat. Flagpole, which is nice. What I also like is this grab rail. Really practical. Not only is this a good way to hang on to, not only for a captain but also for everyone on board, but it's also very practical when you want to put out the fenders and moor the boat, and you're always looking for the right place to put your fender. And if you would have this cleat and maybe a mid cleat, this may not be the good place, but now here you can really choose wherever you want to put your fender. Let me quickly pull this up so that you can get a glimpse of how big this area is. It really is huge. You may notice that there are two batteries. So this has the optional second battery. Main switch is here, but there's plenty of storage. Again, with the Jobe Revolve 2022 package, you get a lot of items, and there's plenty of storage area below here to put all these nice toys. In my previous video I've already shown that this can be used in different ways, like this, but you can also turn it sideways, which is really practical. If you're anchoring, I would imagine that you sit and put your feet in that direction. If you want to carry a lot of passengers, you would turn this 90 degrees and have it here, and then you can maybe have 3 people there and even 3 here. So depending on the situation, this is changeable. Small details again, such as these seat pockets where you can store small items. Nice detailing with the Jobe Revolve 2022 logo. EVA decking I already mentioned. There's more storage here. We put our stuff right here now, but this really is a huge bow locker. And what I always like with Axopar is that this is all stainless steel. The gas strut is stainless steel. A small piece of rubber, so that it doesn't rattle, that the water doesn't drain in the locker. A really practical solution. And you may notice the waste sign here. This is for the holding tank to empty it, because this boat has also been installed with the optional toilet, which is right here. And I really love this. I mean, this is only a 22-foot boat, and still there's a separate toilet. And I'm 1.92 m, as I said, but even for me, of course, it's not huge, but it's doable. Even with this here, you can wash your hands. There's storage pockets behind me. There's automatic switches here. There's a small light. So a really thought through solution for the toilet. Again here, gas strut, and this to protect everything from water entering the toilet area. This owner chose to install both pulpits on both sides. This is an option on each side, so you can choose to have only one on one side or two. I really like this. This is also something which is really good to hang on to. And if you want to get on and off the boat, this is really easy and simple to do it. Of course, there's a bow anchor locker. And in my other video, I also mentioned the hammock that comes with the Jobe Revolve package. A really nice and fun solution, I think, that Axopar and Jobe came up with. So you can lie down here in a hammock with two people, which is great. And it also, I think, adds some protection, because if you're underway and you want something stored easily and you don't want it to blow overboard, you can put it under the hammock while driving. So a really nice solution. There's another step on here. I personally think that you only get this when you install the toilet. I'm not sure about this, but on this particular boat there is one, but I don't think there is one here on every Axopar 22. So let's take her out on the water. By the way, the engine has been running the whole time. And this is a Mercury 200 horsepower V6 outboard, a really nice and quiet engine, which I personally really like. It's a really quiet engine, as I said, really low vibration, really comfortable. We're doing 8.5 kilometers now, but you hardly hear the engine. And you don't feel it on the boat. I mean, with some engines you feel the vibration, especially while driving slowly, not on this Axopar 22. The really good thing also with these new engines that there are some really nice things that Mercury has done. To my surprise, I must say, they changed the whole idea of an outboard in this horsepower range, because the volume of the cylinders has gone up considerably. I think even up to 3.4 liters, which is quite a lot for a 200 horsepower engine, which by the way is the biggest outboard possible on the Axopar 22. But with a big volume in the cylinders, what you get is a really good torque, and that is something which you feel while driving. It just feels very comfortable, very playful. It takes off in a jiffy. It's really fun to drive. And what they've done also is that I'm trying to think of the word. I think Mercury has come up with the name Advanced Range Optimization, as far as I'm correct, which means that there's a system incorporated in this Mercury outboard which optimizes the fuel and oxygen combination, which means that you get a really good fuel efficiency and a really good range as a result of that. Not only that, there's a system also that keeps the RPM on a really constant level, which is really practical because you don't need to touch the throttles as much as you're used to, because usually when you drive in heavy conditions and you need to make turns or you need to go on and off waves, you need to keep your hand on the throttle every time to keep a constant speed, a constant RPM. That has changed. That has been optimized by Mercury, which is really good. As I said, 200 horsepower is the maximum possible horsepower outboard on the Axopar 22. I personally would prefer this combination because I think it's both smooth, silent, fast and fuel efficient. We're doing now around 10 kilometers an hour, and an important figure is always the distance you get from a liter of fuel. We tend to do this in kilometers, by the way. I'm sure that every dealer has the data on the fuel efficiency of any Axopar. We at least have them, and we tend to do it in kilometers per liter. I I know that people like using knots, especially the more experienced boaters, but we chose to do it in kilometers an hour, and we have 1.7 kilometers per liter, which driving slowly is really good. If I were to take the speed down, it would be a lot better even. But of course, the fuel efficiency while driving fast is important. So let me pick up some speed. Turn around if we have the place to ourselves. 20 kilometers an hour. 25, we're off the plane. 32, let me stay behind the windscreen for the audio. 32 kilometers an hour, we're doing 1.4 kilometers per liter, which is already really good. 45. I would guess this is about the optimum cruising speed, 46, 47 kilometers an hour, 1.7 kilometers per liter, and that is really, really good. Doing 3,400 RPM approximately. And of course we'd be interested to see what you can do. Let me put the active trim in a bit more aggressive position. Off we go. 60, 65, 70, 75, 77, 78, 79, 79 kilometers an hour, which is really, really very good for a 22-foot boat. Someone there who we need to say hello to. But with that, I'd like to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching.